Okay, good morning again. Welcome to the second coordination meeting of our Sunrise Alliance that will be mainly, but not only, dedicated to research. The scope of this meeting is to consolidate our positioning as Alliance of Research Universities. We are not colleges, we are not telematic universities, we are research universities. And we are going to focus on this objective by engaging with our senior and junior researchers. In fact, we have our PhD students, we have our postdocs and early stage researchers with the aim of building the community of the Sunrise Alliance. Together with research, we will deal with the interface of research with education, with the third mission, in order to build the added value of the Sunrise Alliance. So with this introduction, I'm very pleased to introduce our Rector Delegate for Research, that is Francesco Regoli. There is also some picture for him, but I would like to say a few words about you, because the picture is from a few years ago. So meanwhile, he did something more. Francesco is one of our highly studied researchers, and he has been just appointed as Delegate for Research, so it's a new role, but he has been director of a department, so he had hands-on how to deal with research, colleagues, and practical issues. He has a long international experience in coordination of international projects, and he has been also delegate for our Ministry of Research with the European Commission for the mission Ocean and Water, and much more. So Francesco, the floor is yours. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much, Francesco, and dear international guests, distinguished representative of European Commission and regional authorities, colleagues, partners, early stage researchers, and PhD students. It's a great honor for me to welcome you to Ancona at the Università Politecnica delle Marche and to bring the greetings of our rectors and my personal ones in my role of delegate for research at this university. I'm really happy that we can host the second Sunrise coordination meeting here at UNIV PM to confirm the vitality of our alliance and also the strategic relevance of what we are building together. Let me start with a clear concept on the strategic meaning of European university alliances, which are not just an academic network. They are a strategic, political and cultural projects of the European Commission and an ambitious initiative to create transnational academic ecosystems capable of integrating education, research, innovation, and societal engagement. They also represent an important response of Europe to actual challenges such as global competition, geopolitical instability, and the urgent need for green, digital, and social transformation. In this respect, Europe does not expect from alliances only mobility programs or collaborative courses. It expects to reduce fragmentation in the European research area, to create a shared ecosystem of excellence, to accelerate innovation across borders, increase awareness on European identity among the next generation, measurable impact, and long-term vision. Alliances are thus expected to become a stable platform for co-creation, capable of connecting university, industry, public authorities, and civil society. And with this really true quadruple helix model, Sunrise, I think, is the clear example of such a vision as a network of strategic, smaller universities, deeply rooted in their regions, will represent a powerful model of regional-based excellence combined with the European ambition. Considering the perspective of the new European programming period, we are approaching a crucial phase for European policy, with discussion already shaping the post-2027 framework. Some direction, I think, that are already clear. Stronger interaction between research, innovation, and education, reinforcement of territorial smart specialization strategies, consolidation of Horizon Europe ambitions and results, increased attention to measurable societal impact, enhanced support for shared infrastructure and joint platform, long-term sustainability of networks beyond the project funding. Alliance will not be evaluated as normal beneficiaries of typical European funds like Horizon or an Erasmus, but on what they have really implemented. So Europe will ask Sunrise to demonstrate if we are producing joint research proposal, building integrated doctoral pathways, attracting international talent together, developing shared infrastructures and center of excellence, generating a territorial impact aligned with the EU priorities, and if we are contributing to the strategic autonomy of Europe in key domains. If we want that Sunrise remain relevant in the next programming cycle, we must position ourselves not as a consortium, but as a stable European research ecosystem. And I can be personally optimistic on this point, since even the activities of this Sunrise meeting very well reflect such a European expectation. The Strategic Research and Innovation Agenda, SRIA, has a fundamental role, and I really thank Francesco Fatone for designing it with such a clever and long-term vision. Our SRIA is not a formal deliverable, but rather a positioning tool, again aligning European policy priorities, regional smart specialization strategies with the scientific capacities of our universities. It means that Sunrise understands the policy framework, is capable of true integration, moving from strategic drafting to operational transformation. The 5 interregional priorities of the SRIA directly intersect the major European political agendas, digitalization and industry 4.0, green transition and circular economy, health, digital health, agro-food and bioeconomy, sustainable mobility, blue economy, all fully reflect the most actual European transition and strategies like the Green Deal, the Digital Decade, European Health Union, Farm to Fork strategy, Blue Economy strategy, Zero Pollution strategy, just to cite a few. But again, what makes our SRIA particularly strong is its regional-based foundation. Europe is increasingly recognizing that university must connect excellence with regional transformation. The concept of science useful to citizens, useful to society, useful to territories. University must be the drivers of smart regional development, bridging European ambition and European relevance. And this is exactly what Sunrise is doing. I also highlight that this SRIA of Sunrise is fully consistent with the new strategic plan of this university that we are discussing in these days, and with the objectives of the mission on research. Our research mission is structured around 4 challenges, which are quality, digital culture, impact and reputation, spaces and infrastructures, And through these challenges, we want to reaffirm our identity as a research university that promotes excellence, evaluation system, and merit, invest in transdisciplinarity, improve competitive funding capacity, support young researchers in talent mobility, integrate artificial intelligence and digital culture in research and in research management, reinforces open data, open science, and research integrity, reinforce international visibility and global positioning. And in this respect, it is rather clear that Sunrise is not an external project for us. It's fully embedded in the research mission of our strategic plan, as well as also in other missions like teaching and valorization of knowledge. Sunrise and SRIA represent a key platform to stimulate transdisciplinary and international collaborative research, enhancing our European positioning, capacity to attract and offer opportunities to our young researchers, improve our participation in large-scale Horizon initiative, just to cite a few of the most relevant opportunities. Through the Sunrise Alliance, we have the possibility to reinforce not only our scientific networks, but also our international and institutional credibility, the credibility of research and the research values at the European level. The strategic value of this meeting is also demonstrated by the program that demonstrated that this is not a routine coordination event, it's an implementation workshop. The program will focus on strategic dialogue with the European and regional representatives, engagement of PhD candidates and early stage researchers, co-creation circle aligned with SRIA priorities, KPI monitoring, dashboard, gap analysis, action planning, integration between different work packages, structured doctoral collaboration, measurable deliverable for 2026. This is governance, this is accountability, this is the demonstration of how this alliance can mature. And let me to emphasize something particularly important, the involvement of PhD candidates and early stage researchers, which is not symbolic. They are the first generation of researchers growing within university alliances. The real long-term impact of this initiative, this means investing in future research generation. And I think that our responsibility as research leaders is to give appropriate perspective and opportunities for young researchers and doctoral candidates, something that I really and personally consider extremely important. Across Europe, certainly in Italy, we are facing a paradox in these days because on one hand, the demand of highly qualified researchers has never been so high. The green transition, digital transformation, health resilience, environmental crisis, and industrial innovation all require advanced scientific competences. On the other hand, we are experiencing increasing problems in recruiting and retaining our young talents. Several factors contribute to this problem. Limited attractiveness of research in university compared to salaries in industries, uncertainty in academic career paths, structural reforms in national recruitment systems. While these reforms should increase transparency and merit-based selection, they also require the period of institutional reorganization, and in this transitional phase, young researchers often suffer this uncertainty for their career progression, evaluation criteria, and long-term stability. This is precisely where European university alliances and Sunrise can play a key role. In a context where recruitment systems are evolving, we must shift our perspective. The academic career can no longer be seen as a linear and confined to a single institution. It must be European. Sunrise can help all our institutions to expand beyond our borders. If we succeed, not only we will improve recruitment quality and sustainability of European research careers, most importantly, I think we will offer young researchers something extremely valuable, the sense of belonging to a broader European scientific community. A final consideration on a shared responsibility. University alliances are a long-term political investment, and in this respect, Sunrise is an opportunity, but has also a responsibility. If we remain fragmented, we will be perceived as a temporary consortium. The difference depends on our ambition. Let me conclude with a clear message. Europe is at a turning point. Scientific excellence alone is not enough. Integration, impact, strategic alignment, and long-term sustainability are now decisive. Last but not least, before leaving to the most interesting part of the meeting, let me thank, first of all, Francesco Fatone and Michela Barbotti for their enormous effort and commitment, and all the staff who contributed to make this event possible, all Sunrise partners, work package and task leaders, PhD candidates and researchers, our European and regional guests, everyone contributing to the success of Sunrise. Let's work together to ensure that Sunrise is not only a funded project, but a structural European platform for collaborative research. Thank you again for being here, and I really wish you a productive and inspiring meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Francesco. I will keep this speech as a deliverable. So this was really great. You can be in contact with Francesco. He's replying all days, all hours, including Sunday. Sunday is a bit sometimes late, but he will be with us during the meeting, not always, but he is a great resource for our alliance. So I would like also to say our highest commitment. In this room, we have 3 rector delegates. Tomorrow we'll have the rector. He's not with us because he's in Rome today for the board of directors. Just to show what we discussed when we were preparing the proposal. Important commitment of the university, from the higher governance up to the students. This is what we all are doing, and we are proving this in this meeting. Now, I'm going to say a few words, because in this room we don't have only our Sunrise specialists, the ones that have been in the alliance since the concept, but there are many new people, including the panelists and also our PhD students. And I would like to say what we are doing about research. So within the alliance, we are trying to be strategic. What do we mean with strategic? It's not our invention. Some of us, we have experienced the European Commission. I'm just back from Paris, where I was writing the Water for All RIA. So it was not our idea. It's how to be strategic. Before starting anything, be strategic. SRIA means Strategic Research Innovation Agenda. That is very difficult today. This is what we discussed in Paris. The policy scenario is changing so fast that being strategic is almost impossible, because you should revise your strategy every year. And this is what we will do. With this objective, first of all, to map what the regions need. We have the Regione Marche here, that will be one of the panelists, and what the regions need, and what we all need together. And we have identified the 5 priorities that will be discussed later on. Number 2, to see how we can integrate and build a better platform to go faster, to be faster. We need to be fast, because the world is changing very fast. We have to be resilient, not only with the water and so on, but also with research. We have to face the changes. And last but not least, to take new opportunities with new research projects, but also to give new opportunities to our early stage researchers. So this is all about the activity on research. And to start, one of the strategic documents that also Francesco was mentioning is our SRIA. The first version was delivered, and this was done to consolidate our role about research universities. We are very proud of being research university because the discussion, at least in Italy, but not only about research, telematic universities, is very hard, very hot. So we want to distinguish ourselves as a research university, and in this meeting we will consolidate our research positioning and our actions toward the common vision. So with this SRIA, what we did, we were analyzing all the research innovation strategies of the 9 regions. We were considering the priorities of the regions, because what is of interest here, I see some of our international students, is not of interest for Syria. So how to work together? Something has to be important for me and for you. So going in the same direction means understanding the common priorities, what is the policy framework, what is the policy change that is currently ongoing, and together with the column on your left, we were analyzing the column on your right. So what is our capability? Where we are now excellent, and where we have to improve to support the regions. To see how the Alliance can fill the gap. As Università Politecnica delle Marche, we cannot fill all the gaps of our region. But within the Alliance, we can find competencies. This is the objective of our research, common research. Otherwise, there is no added value from the Alliance. So with this in mind, we built our SRIA, and here you have an example of the documents that we were studying. So all these have been analyzed, just to show a lot of work was done here. It's not a column done in one night. Here you see just the summary table. The priorities, where now we are going to cluster our research. The priorities are digitalization, Industry 4.0, green transition and circular economy. Now all this is resilience, basically. Health and digital health, agro-food and bioeconomy, sustainable mobility, logistics and blue economy. These 5 priorities do not mean that we are working only in these fields. This means that we are clustering our efforts in this direction, but together with this, we are expanding to other areas. Here you see also how we have coupled this with our place-based rationale, and which is our alignment with EU policy. So again, to show that this is not buzzword, I mean, I want to avoid only general policy discussion. We have to be very pragmatic, very pragmatic. So we have analyzed all the projects, all the PIs, all research infrastructures. We have matched this with the priorities, and thanks to this, we have mapped where we can be stronger together. And here you see the matching about the main research profile matched with the priorities and the alignment, where we are very well aligned and where we can be better aligned. Then we moved to the national and regional projects, and we fine-tuned our activity. And as you can see here, what we did, this was the version 1. So we mapped all our partners towards sectors where we are delivering our research. But research is not only funding, it's research products. What are our research products? Mainly scientific publication, if possible, high quality, to avoid, the booming of research publication just to grow our indicators. So what we did, and well, many thanks to the Portuguese and colleagues also from Bosnia, we were mapping the scientific publication based on Scopus in this case because it was available everywhere. And we mapped where we are publishing more. And with this in mind, now we are going to fine-tune to understand where we have been already productive. So to conclude this introduction, this is an infographic about our priorities. Now, this meeting is extremely crucial, and this message is for our stakeholders that are going to be with us in the panel. We want to support the new regional innovation strategies. From 2028, for the next 7 years, we will have a new strategy. So this is our methodology, and our idea is to adapt this methodology to the new need. So the panel that we will have is going to this direction. It's not only for research, it's also for other work packages. And I would like to say a few words about the program. Please go to your folder. You will find a QR code with the program. If you don't have a folder, I see some students without folder. Outside, you have a folder with the program, okay? After this first panel, the workshop will be extremely practical. We will have a workshop where students outside will present their work, will interact within early stage researchers and not only, and then we present the work inside in order to build our PhD community, okay? This workshop will be today, and the aim is to talk about research. So far, we have monitored the process. Now we have to talk about research. We have to talk about our areas. This has been not so topical so far. Tomorrow, we are going to address how to implement our strategy. Now we have a strategy, we have to implement our strategy. So we have to build our action plans. And we will have a strong contribution for our PhD program coordinators. I am one of these in my university. We have several from the Alliance. So focusing on our research priorities of our Alliance, we're going to interface with the PhD programs in order to deliver practical actions to be implemented in this year, not only for our KPI, of course, this is our grant agreement, but for our strategy. And last but not least, we will interface with education, third mission, in order to finally have a clear roadmap towards the implementation of our strategy. Now, I'm very pleased to introduce the moderator of the panel that will have the honor and duty to moderate our panelists. We have invited key representative from the European Commission, key representative from the JRC. The panel will be dedicated to the interface between European University Alliances and regional innovation by high-quality research. So, Tony, the floor is yours, and thank you for joining us.
So we invite the speakers to come with us. We have some on-site and some online. I don't know if we'll have them on the screen or how do we have them. They are connected online. So welcome, colleagues, the ones that are online. Can you see us and can you hear us? Everything fine? Okay. So in Sunrise, we have a number of challenges, and the challenge for us today is to moderate and to have a live roundtable with 8 speakers, 60 minutes, and a clear challenge to be practical and to have a roadmap. So we won't have the time to go through all the curricula of all our speakers, but you can say a little word when you speak the first time, and then we have you yourselves introduced to the panel, okay? I'm going to start with following up with what has been already mentioned by the Vice Rector and also by our colleague Francesco. First, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunrise Roundtable. We are gathered here today, as we said, online and on-site. Welcome to the ones that are following. You are missing the lively atmosphere here in the room, but we have the pleasure to have you with us. The thing is, the European University Alliances is in a pivotal moment, so there is a discussion on how to get the financial survival of the instrument in the long run after 2028. We need to go through this issue because Sunrise has a specific mission. When it was envisaged, there was these 9 universities, very brave. They are in the smaller size. They are smaller size universities in non-metropolitan areas, and they are one of the anchor actors in the regions, and they want to play a role together with the other actors that are working in these regional settings. And why this session was important was already mentioned. We have been already working on this analysis of the smart specialization strategies in the regions, just trying to figure out what are the strengths in research, what you as researchers, young researchers, PhD students are doing and aligning with these strategies. So we are all part of a boat that needs to really make a change. And today we have this panel to really make an alignment. An alignment with 3 clear questions. We are going to pose them. We are going to try very straight to the point, and that was really reinforced when we were preparing this roundtable by our Ancona colleagues and our Sunrise coordinators, that we are to the point so that we are not giving generalities to the audience. So we are going to focus on policy, how to sustain this instrument, the alliance and the vision for the collaboration among universities and different partners beyond the current policy period. We are going to talk about territory, how to drive real socioeconomic impact, and we are going to talk about science. And I think we have seen already all the things that this newborn alliance, a little bit more than a year of life, has already been achieving and delivering to the European Commission, to the universities and to the regions in terms of analysis. So the goal is clear. I think we are all prepared here and online. And just to give a flavor of who we are in the table, we see only 3 people here, but we have 5 more people online. So we have the policy architects with us. Joining us from the European level, we have Walter Sampieri from the European Commission. Welcome, Walter. Can you say something so that we can hear you? Not yet.
Here.
So now? Repeat.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. So welcome, Walter, from the European
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's a pleasure having you with us. We have also Alessandro Rainoldi from the Joint Research Center, a former person working in the Joint Research Center officer. So Alessandro, can you say hello to us so that we can hear you?
Yes, of course. Very happy to join in this event and discussion. So I'm really glad to be here with all my colleagues, speakers, and you all, even if I'm not physically in Ancona.
Okay, thank you. So, and also connecting Brussels to the national strategy, we have Professor Fabio Fava from the Italian Ministry. So, do we have him connected?
Fabio Fava is regretfully just in this moment in Brussels. He's a speaker.
Okay.
So yeah.
So we have him in Brussels, but not with us because we cannot be in two places. So no problem. This is things from the direct connection. So territorial connectors. So we have the policy architects, then we have the territorial connectors bridging the gap between policy and practice. We have Francesco Molica from Eurada, online. Francesco, can you?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here representing also a network of innovation intermediaries. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Francesco. And we have here with us Anna Torelli from Del Marche region. Anna.
Yes, hello to everybody. Good morning. I am from the Economic Development Department of Marche region.
Thank you, Anna. And we have the internal engine as well. We cannot do all this multi-level without the people inside. So finally looking into the alliance, we have Professor Francesco Regoli. I hope I am pronouncing it well, from UniVPM. This is representing, there is another new thing coming, don't worry. What?
Francesco Regoli is here. These are the speaker. So.
Okay. Which one?
Yeah, Deborah Pacheco. And then.
Okay. Okay, Deborah. Okay. So good. Francesco is here, but we are going to. They made my life a little bit easier, not to have 8, but a little bit less speakers in the session, because that was we were discussing last week that was a bit too much for 1 hour. So Deborah, you are here from Uni Adrian, so.
I don't know, it's working. I'm very happy to join with this event, and I am the Secretary General of Uni Adrian, together to the delegate of our rector for the institutional relation of the territory.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are seeing that in many cases we have these double or triple hacks that help us to link the dots in between levels, in between regions, in between sectors, etc. And finally, but not least, Sari Hirvonen-Kantola from the Community of Practice for You for All, and also from the Unique Alliance, one of the oldest alliance as well. So, Sari, welcome. Huba Kulu, you are coming from Finland, so let's see if we can hear you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Okay. So, and here we have the experts, the minutes and the task and the challenge that we are going to build together. So we will go straight to the first question regarding the future framework. As you all know, Sunrise aims to give a voice to non-metropolitan universities. We have been already saying that. We have been really working on our identity. The thing is how the European Universities Initiatives and the upcoming FP10 that is now under discussion can really support alliances like Sunrise, have a long-term financial sustainability, and how, and this is very important, should national ministries align their strategies to support this EU-level ambition. And here I'll ask you, Walter, especially on this because you are in Brussels, you are following all this discussion on the FP10 and also the challenge for the alliances to have this financial framework for 2028 onwards. If you can give us some ideas on this.
Sure. Thank you very much. Just introduce myself very quickly. My name is Walter Zampieri. I'm the head of unit for European higher education in the Executive Agency for Education and Culture. I've already had a long career in the European Commission with different posts, but now I'm managing the European University Alliances, the Jean Monnet actions, the European degree, and other actions like the recognition centers at European level. So, how to align, let's say, national and EU strategies to ensure the long-term sustainability of the alliances? Well, first of all, as you know, I can reassure you, the next program will be even more ambitious in terms of what we want to do with the European University Alliances. The negotiation is still ongoing, but the Commission is definitely very, very ambitious, and we intend to support all the alliances for the whole period of the framework. And in our intention, at least, with even more money than there was in the current one. But we also have to be realistic in the sense that the European funding cannot be really structural for all the ambitions that the director also has explained so well. The European funding cannot replace the role of the national and of the universities themselves. This is clear, but it should be catalytic. It can be catalytic. And the co-funding from the national and regional authorities that we will also discuss today is quite important because it can increase the institutional buy-in. The funding from Europe can never exceed, I think, more than 5% of the overall budget of a university, even if you consider what will happen with the structural funds and so on. I think that even in terms of the co-funding, which every contract requires, about 20% of co-funding, I think that in practice, every alliance goes more than that. We have more probably than 30% in that case. And so what should be done? Well, what should be done, first of all, is that the alliances should really leverage all the possibilities that they have to share human resources, which means it means students, it means researchers, professors, even the staff, and of course the research infrastructure. What we can do is also to support you in the role of the alliances as role models within the national framework, because that would be very important to increase the institutional buy-in. We also understand that it's quite difficult for the alliances and maybe for the partners to really play to the full their role as models within a national context. Let's make the example of Italy, because now we are in Italy, in Ancona now. There are 55 Italian universities participating in the alliances. Only one, I think, is the coordinator. All the others are partners. So it's very difficult for them to really to play that role. But we are working with the national agencies in order to improve the dissemination of the results so that they really can have a full role within the national context and the regional context as well.
Thank you, Walter. I think this is to open the floor on this multi-level approach that we need to bring. And I want to ask Anna, that you are coming from the region, how to link this with what the European Commission envisaged after Macron idea, and how we can really align things here.
Yeah. In fact, I represent the territorial government, and thinking about your observation, and also having gone through all the document and many information that I have found on the website of the alliances, my reflection is that Sunrise Alliance should act as a regional innovation engines, catalyzing transformation through the proximity to industrial districts, communities, and local government. So regions could reserve a special role to alliances like Sunrise into risk-free designing. For example, recognize them as a scientific advisor for the design of new risk-free priorities. For example, involving such an alliance as a peer evaluator, ensuring that regional innovation strategy remain evidence-based. And develop platforms for practice exchange across EU regions. And also have a role in co-creators of new financial instruments tailored to place-based innovation. So I think that this can help foster a multi-level alignment between EU policy mixes, national and regional funding, and also regional smart specialization.
Thank you very much. I asked all of the panelists to be very short, so you could explain more, I'm sure, Walter and etc., more things that can be done, so, but we'll keep the answer short. And I will ask Sari to really give us an idea of how the other alliances are finding this issue of financial alignment, survival, or sustainability in the future. And if you have any example that you can share with Sunrise that can be brought into the agenda.
Yes, thank you. Of course, the continued co-funding from the ECs is critical. Since according to the draft, the co-funding seems to come from the Erasmus program, also the other instruments are important. But to get to the examples, for instance, in Finland, Eureka, European University Alliance's name has been included into a regional agreement between the city and the ministry. The same commitment is being mentioned in the local agreement then between the city and the university. And in this case, it is being considered strategic to mention the alliance's name in these agreements, which are both inherently important in local innovation ecosystems. And there's a lot that the alliance can then do, also with funding coming from the region. For instance, the Green Alliance had hired an officer responsible for contacting researchers and also writing Horizon Europe proposals. And she has a lot of influence in the alliance.
Okay, so you are bringing different examples from the community of practice. For You for All is the community of practice of the 1665 alliances. And you are trying different instruments in different countries with different regions, etc. So thank you very much. I want to pose a question for Alexandro. You have been very active in the Joint Research Center, and this is very important for the policy level that we are discussing in this first question. How do you think we can align with all these value of innovation that the Joint Research Center has boosted in the last years, how we can align the regions, the universities in the regions, and the research and the work that different units, people at the 9 universities in Sunrise are doing with the work of the Joint Research Center at this stage. If you can give us some ideas on this.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, I would like to say that I'm here as a former head of unit of the Joint Research Center, so I'm not working anymore at the JRC. I will not be able to put forward an institutional kind of statement, but I would like to take profit from my experience working at the Commission, both in Brussels with regional and urban policy and at JRC on territorial development, including the role of universities in smart specialization, for example, to say a few words about the added value of University Alliance vis-à-vis the former kind of situation where we were analyzing and supporting the role of universities, or individual universities, in the territory they were located. So as in the region they were located. Now we are talking about kind of a next level, because it's not about an alliance of 9 universities working each one individually with its region or city, country, but actually putting together a pool of resources, a pool of knowledge for a pool of territories. And this is more complex indeed, but I see a clear added value into that. Also in relation to what other initiatives that the Commission is working on, innovation at the subnational level, including regional innovation valleys, are doing and are supporting. So in this sense, what I would like to underline here is that alliances give the kind of hook to universities to actually build their cooperative mindset that would help them, that would support them in, I would say, matching policy tools or policy opportunities that are coming from Brussels, but not necessarily only from Brussels, in terms of cooperation and I would say integration of different actors coming from different EU member states into one. I would say into a complex but an integrated, I would say, initiative and strength.
Thank you, Alexandro. Yes, if we have time, you have to explain later what is these European Innovation Valleys and how the Joint Research Center is putting all these corridors of innovation across Europe, but we'll go little by little to disentangle things. We want to move a little bit from this policy framework to the impact and on the territory, and you were already mentioned something on that. So, moving to the practice, my question is, how can Sunrise, in practical terms, and I think Francesco was really sharp on that we really need to be practical, to have a map, to have a roadmap for us, how research, the gap between academic research and regional smart specialization strategies can be closed or can be addressed to ensure that we are not just producing scientific papers. They are very important, knowledge is important, but beyond that, or together with that, we create actual, real socioeconomic drivers for the regions, like Dinamarca, Podkarpacie, or Thuringia, or the other regions that we have represented in the Sunrise Alliance. So, Francesco, I will send you this question to you. You represent the development agencies. So, practical advice, how do we bridge this gap that our research actually solves the problem of local SMEs, for example? I know it's a difficult question.
Difficult question indeed, and I will certainly not be able to provide any conclusive answer. However, I can say that indeed we represent a network of actors that are directly involved in the design and implementation of regional innovation strategies or smart specialization strategies. First of all, it is important also to highlight that research organizations, actors, according also to various empirical studies, are contributing already meaningfully to the design of the strategies. They are among the most involved actors in the consultation phase, the so-called entrepreneurial discovery process. Now, the real challenge is how this can be translated into a sustained engagement that also occurs and remains constant over time, and by which mechanisms. So in that respect, our experience is that we still need to create more co-creation spaces along the implementation of the regional innovation strategies, right? Because in most cases, research actors are involved in the consultation process and not much so then in the implementation. They cannot, they do not contribute meaningfully to that part of the policy cycle. And in that respect, the alliances can also act as collecting good practices across different territories. Second of all, the problem with the European Union is not that we lack ideas, because even in peripheral territories, if you look at the research metrics, we are performing pretty well. The problem, as we all know, lies in knowledge transfer, lies in ensuring a better coordination of research and innovation actors, lies in indeed making sure that these ideas then are translated into innovation that can be commercialized and scaled up. And in that respect, again, alliances can play an important role, because there are important practices in that respect in many regions that can then be easily transferred and replicated elsewhere, in terms of how research and innovation strategies can become more effective thanks to the help that the research organization can do in connecting with, for instance, other innovation actors. Thirdly, very important, interregional cooperation, how to make sure that innovation ecosystems can cooperate more and more effectively. Now, if you look at the geography of innovation cooperation, collaborations in Europe, we know that most of these collaborations are taking place within national borders or between neighboring regions. However, research organizations have usually much better and much stronger transnational links than other innovation actors, and in that respect, alliances can also play an important role, especially in view of reinforcing intra-EU collaborations in a global context where we are experiencing increasingly global value chains disruptions and the disruptions of global knowledge networks. So it is important to strengthen this intra-EU collaborations, and research actors in that respect are already leading and can already open the way then to, for instance, SMEs, to more collaboration among firms and SMEs across member states, and also to ensure a better alignment of regional innovation strategies.
Can I interrupt you for a minute, Alexandro, because I have the PhD students in front of me looking at us saying, what do we mean with this? Because we are talking about making the collaboration with SMEs, the transfer, the co-creation, spaces of collaboration within the network, and I see the faces of researchers and the faces of the young researchers, and I don't know if they are capturing what we are meaning with all this multi-level approach and all these initiatives that we are putting in place. And the question here is that we have a system that brings our researchers into a career development that brings, they have to deliver a PhD, right? A PhD in 3-4 years in a specific area. But if I ask you, if I give you the mic, are you really connecting with SMEs? Are you connecting with the tissue, the regional tissue around you in your field? Can you say something on that? Yes. Wait a second,
Yeah. Sorry. Actually, my research topic is connected small, medium-sized enterprising, and I'm analyzing what they need in digital and sustainable transformation, what kind of competences they will need for future and future work profile. This is really connected to SMEs.
Okay, so and you are working with them.
Yeah, somehow in not working with them, we like conducted workshop and in a project, and yes, we are connected with them.
So you are collecting data with them, or you are
Yes.
co-creating with them? This is what Alessandro was saying. We really need to co-create with the different stakeholders in the region, and this is a mindset shift that we really need to be aware. Thank you for your contribution, because this was not in the escaleta of the round table, but I think it's important that we really go to the ground. If not, we are going to, I'm going to have Francesco saying, you didn't bring any concrete ideas on this. And we really need to have a mindset shift here. When we are researchers, we want data, we want to analyze. We need to go to our stakeholders, collect this data, analyze, have a report, a paper. If it's quartile 1 better than quartile 2 or 3, whatever, we have a PhD, but we have the people working in the region, working in these intermediary networks, associations, but we don't have the spaces, and that was very important what you were saying, Alexandro. We don't have the spaces to co-create. And this is something that we really envisaged when we were really discussing Sunrise, how the Alliance can create spaces internally in the university so that you, different PhD students, connect the different fields. And you go to the cafeteria or you go to wherever, a living lab, something. We really need to find new ways to do things for you to collect different knowledge together. We really need to find spaces among the universities to really exchange the knowledge. And we have seen the work that the members of Task Point 4.1 has been doing for 1 year. And this is, as we were saying, Sunrise is very young, but it's really delivering on making all these analysis of the data and thinking strategically how we can anticipate, how we can prepare ourselves to be resilient for the new framework program. And this is to support also the work of Walter and the team in Brussels, in DG EAC, in the agency as well, to really have examples of alliances that are really delivering and putting things together. So, sorry, Alexandro, for stopping and to give the floor a little bit here, because we really need to find out how to solve these issues. But I will give the floor a little bit to Deborah now to give some logic to these cross-border networks, how you are doing these connections, because we are really longing for knowledge on how to do it. We are 9 universities here, but we want to link with other universities, and your role is very important. So if you can give us a little bit of the framework where you are working from, and also what we can do. Very concretely, I see Francesco looking at me very closely now, so we need to deliver. Yeah, deliver. Yeah.
I will be really short, but first of all, I would like to share you some information about Uniadrion. Uniadrion information that will help you to understand which can be the role of Uniadrion inside Sunrise, the role useful to become an economic drive for the regions. So Uniadrion is an association of 62 universities and research centers present in Albania, Bosnia, Croatia, Greece, Italy, Montenegro, North Macedonia, San Marino, Serbia, and Slovenia. All members cooperate on different topics perfectly aligned with the strategy, with the European strategy for the Adriatic and Ionian region. So all members of the association shall create a network for the cooperation, for the promotion of joint research, also for joint didactic didactic program. So, thanks to the collaboration of Uniadron network, the Western Balkan country will be included in the mapping of Sunrise and can be considered as a priority area for widening the collaboration of the Sunrise Alliance. So, considering the 5 thematic of Sunrise have distilled for the SRIA, Francesco told before, and consider this thematic, what can do Uniadron? Uniadron can be particularly useful to get more people involved in the initiative, and as well as to disseminating the activity and the result. But Uniadron can also provide information about the scientific competence of its member of the university, and therefore facilitate the creation of scientific network. Scientific network aim at establishing strategic partnership for scientific project, fostering exchange of PhD students, but also partnership aimed to create structure interface between the academia and the regional production system. For example, we can help the Sunrise to create the joint lab with the industry, with the small industry, to favorite the industrial PhD co-found company, so to favorite the creation of proof of concept acceleration schemes.
Thank you. So, PhD students here, researchers, if you have colleagues that want to do something with, in some topic, with industry, with different universities and
different university associations,
you can direct to Uniadron because they can support, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We can we can consider the Uniadron the hand of the Sunrise in the Adriatic Ionic regions.
Okay, thank you. And you are one associated partner of the Alliance, so you have this mandate as well to support the Alliance. Very good. Thank you, Deborah. Anna, if I ask you how to bring this to earth in the Lamarck region, how would you do it? It can be done.
From the regional administration point of view, I have prepared a sort of list because I thought that it was a good idea to answer to the question of Francesco of this morning. What region needs?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that in this moment, particularly, it's very important for tool such this alliance to support region to shift from knowledge production to socio-economic transformation. What does it mean? It means that producing high-quality research, and I think this has already been underlined in your strategic agenda. So high-quality research is not enough any longer. Regions need mission-oriented, innovation-generating ecosystems. Mission-oriented policies require behavioral change, community engagement, and regulatory adaptation. So such a transition cannot occur without universities acting as a local change agent. So non-metropolitan universities are uniquely positioned to educate new generations of entrepreneurs, public managers, and politicians too. Promote cultural shifts toward sustainability digitalization, innovation. Foster local authorities in adopting demand-driven tools. This is, it's very important also to shift from another side of the innovation, demand-driven tools, such as PCP, PPI, and enhancing the culture of using monitoring indicators among regional governments, and developing also new policy evaluation methods. So the Alliance could act as a trusted conveners of citizens, entrepreneurs, institutions. So this is very important for us. And I think that, for example, what we will need, it's a really, and we can profit from such an alliance to create more knowledge, a shift in culture towards our entrepreneurs, also towards our regional administrators. For example, talking about PCP, for example, regions like Marche lack adequate expertise in demand-driven innovation, and Sunrise can train public authority in such new procedures, co-design procurement strategies, as well as support the regional government on creating the culture of evidence-based assessment, which is lacking now, at least in Marche region. Yeah. So this is, I think, very important. I just want to add another important issue, and this is very important for Marche region, that is also developing, creating, starting a dialogue with the regional administration to focus on addressing the talent challenge. So talent attraction and retention is a major concern for our region. So the strategic agenda of Sunrise mapping has already underlined the demographic decline, skill shortages, uneven research capacity, and structural barriers affecting more than one region. And Sunrise, in this sense, to help region to stop the talent drainage, could be helpful to co-design participatory foresight processes and open dialogue with stakeholders, creating joint educational offerings targeting future skills, sharing or co-designing policy solutions for talent circulation, attraction, and retention, and developing a multilingual strategy, since language remains still an obstacle for truly cross-regional cooperation, at least at regional level. So I think that my message, my simple message could be: start meeting, start talking, start engaging, be inclusive, be practical, and work together to develop a vision of your territory.
Thank you, Anna. That was very clear, very to the point, and very action-oriented. And it opened the floor for the last round of the question that is going to the very clear last message on things that we can do, that we should do, by acting from our level in a multi-level approach. And I would like to open, Anna, open the floor for this last round. But if we can start with you, Walter, because Anna was mentioning something that is very important, and you are mentioning this in many events in Brussels and discussions in expert groups on this accountability issue, the impact-driven approach of the alliances, and the different ways of measure the progress and the impact. So if you can give us last message, last sentence on how we can go in that direction, just create an impact, and support you as well in passing the message to other units in Brussels that we are really working, really delivering, really trying to make a difference. We cannot.
Impressed by the. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
You can hear me? Yes. Yeah. No, I was actually impressed with the presentation by the rector at the beginning. I mean, very conscious of the ambitions and very conscious of the steps that need to be taken. Look, we all know that there is a long-term vision, but a long-term vision can only become concrete if you have some clear milestones, no? And you have to reach them. And this is about the accountability. And we are really here to help you. If you need to adjust your vision, if you need to change something, we are here. But of course, I think it helps you as well to have these milestones when you can have your progress. It's simple as that, really. Accountability means knowing exactly what you're doing.
Thank you very much. Any concrete way that you think that we can do that? So we know that, for example, in some midterm reviews of some alliances, there was this idea of not knowing which was funded with what type of funding. So if we can do it very well from the beginning here in Sunrise, could be
yes.
very good. So.
Well, of course, as you know, actually, last year we had a review for the first 20 alliances. This year we are doing 30 more reviews. But the message really, we are here to help you. We are really to support you. We discuss together where you are. We discuss where you're probably maybe late. We discuss where you're making more progress. And don't worry, because we're here to help you. So.
Thank you very much, Walter, for being with us. This is very important to really support the alliance. Yeah, we'll try to be on time. So I'll pass the floor to Alexandro. Just be very brief on one message that you think Sunrise can take for the coming years to move in this direction.
Thank you. Well, I would like to reinforce the message that Anna Torelli has just pointed out from the Marche regional government. I think that is pretty operational and quite powerful. I mean, the issue is, of course, trying to, here is, we were talking about research, from the Alliance to feed and to support innovation priorities of the regions where the universities of the Alliance are located, in order to boost and to try to maximize the impact of that of the research in benefits for the territories. There is an element there which has been traditionally kind of let's say not completely developed in regional innovation strategies, smart specialization strategies, which are skills, and I would say also a kind of foresight aimed at understanding what is the combination of skills that regions would need throughout the process of implementing their research and innovation strategies. And I think here alliances can actually be a very strong actor in shaping, help shape this combination of skills that would serve innovation for the territories where they operate. Just as a concrete example, I hear that there in Ancona you have many doctoral students there. So where would they work as PhDs? Would they work in the universities of the Alliance? Would they work in companies located in the cities where the universities, where the Alliance universities are located? Or would they work in Munich or Frankfurt or Milan or Paris? I think there is also an issue. An issue of understanding also those that kind of.
Alexandro,
Yeah.
let us ask them. Just they are smiling because I think they are more worried about how they deliver the PhD more than where they are going to
Probably.
work. Let me check, because this is an inclusive network, and we cannot talk about them without them. So let's pass the mic, Michela, to some of them. Where do you expect to be working in the coming future? Who wants to talk? Yeah. Thank you for sending this message, Alessandro. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. My name is Ali. I'm from UniVPM. For me, I mean, research is part of my goal that was in life since starting. So I came here. I'm original from Italy. I came to Italy to continue my research activities. So honestly, after PhD, I'm thinking about continuing in the same fields in universities, for example, because it comes in the same research. Nowadays, let's say in UPM, we can see that there is this transition of collaboration also with, let's say, the region, also with the companies to make co-research also. So, but honestly, the main goal for me would be university, then would be to transition to the work environment.
So they are doing fine here in Ancona, Alexandro. Yeah, we have another word. Yeah.
Actually, for my PhD, I have to go outside for a minimum of 6 months. So I was contacting a lot of research center because, you know, as a PhD student, it's actually how I found it from the financial point. It's a little bit difficult to go to research centers.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish that there is ability to facilitate this point and more according about the financial point, because actually like funding, they asked me also a funding to use the equipment. So it's remain always the university the easier choice for us to go in an Erasmus or to do any research abroad.
Okay, thank you very much. I know you were not prepared for this, but you are great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will pass the floor because we are almost 11. Alexandro, thank you very much. I know you have more ideas, but you can send us, all of you can send us more inputs. So I'll pass the floor to Deborah first, and then to Sari, and then we close the session, okay? Deborah, just a short message just to give us some key inputs. Yeah.
Just a message. I think we have to implement all of action that serve as a bridge to shifting the focus from the research-driven approach to ecosystem-oriented approach. So we have to implement all of action that allow us to create infrastructure or, interface between the academia and the regional production system.
Thank you very much. That's very clear. Yeah. Sari, your turn.
Thank you so much. Quite often, in the old alliances, the European universities have already become mediators between academics and policy. And for instance, in UNIC, the European University of Cities in Post-Industrial Transition, we have a dedicated center to foster city challenge-based learning and research. It then collects the researchers, teachers, students, even staff, regardless of their disciplines, and with their all different types of contributions to contribute to the city challenge-based mission, if you like. In the local innovation alliances, cities also have key enabler roles and even orchestrator roles in relation to companies and NGOs. So that makes them very important allies. However, we can really see that there are really needs for novel mediator roles in this regard to matchmake the different types of contributions from the universities and the societal partners. This is essential in case we specifically wish to go for transformative innovation or innovation for place-based transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sari. I don't know if anyone is missing to talk. Francesco, did you give your final statement? Because
I haven't, and I will be extremely brief. And I wanted to quickly use this opportunity to tackle a matter which is of utmost importance, that is the future of regional innovation strategies. So currently there is a proposal on the table, future EU budget, and on the future of cohesion policy. As you know, smart specialization strategies, regional innovation strategies are anchored in the cohesion policy or structural funds regulation, and this new proposal, unfortunately, features a very weak legal basis compared to the past on regional innovation strategies. The result might be that regional innovation strategies might be discontinued in some countries, or might indeed or there might be in the future a very fragmented approach to this strategy. So it is important that alliances also help all the stakeholders in Brussels to make the case for keeping very strong smart specialization strategies in the future and make sure that regional innovation strategies remain a dominant framework for regional innovation policies across Europe.
Well, that was a very important message, so hopefully we didn't miss it, and thank you very much. There were a number of keywords that came that I think compel us all to work together in a more strategic approach, systemic approach, setting structures. You see I'm playing always with the words, but they came together with starting with an S, and also bringing this socio-economic policy-oriented approach to our research and innovation together. So, and each of us, depending on the position, on the role, on the question that we are handling, we really need to work together with others. So we are going to finalize this roundtable with finding the spaces to gather, to connect, to co-create, and to really push forward the impacts that we really want for our universities, our alliances, and our regions. Thank you very much, colleagues in the roundtable, also for the spontaneous ones that we want to make this very, very inclusive. And I hope we have delivered, Francesco. Thank you very much.
So really, many, many thanks to all the panelists. I think that the message for our early stage colleagues, because we are colleagues, I mean, I like to call them PhD researchers, not PhD students, because yes, they are students, but they are on the way. So if you feel you're not part of a strategy, this panel, I hope, served to understand that you are part of the strategy. And if you think strategically, the research will be your way. Otherwise, you will deliver your PhD, you will get most likely your title, but innovation probably is not in your DNA. To conclude, what I was feeling is that researchers, we have never to feel in our comfort zone. If you are in your comfort zone, you are in the wrong place. Because if you think about only scientific papers, you are with your colleagues, thinking about your own career, Think about if you are with the professionals, they will say, you do theory. That's the place to be. We have to be in the middle. And that's why I think this message that we got in this panel is extremely important. As an alliance, we are ready to work with the region, but with the regions, not only with the market, with all the regions, with our added value. Because we have excellencies spread in our universities, and we can really cover, I don't want to say all, but probably all of the priorities. So many thanks, Tony. This was great. It was very practical, so thank you for taking the message. And now we have the coffee break, but you will find posters outside. Now it's your moment for PhD researchers. Posters have been prepared by the partners. PhD researchers from our university will go through the posters to network and ask questions. So the presenters will be in face of the poster, and then we will be back to listen from very quick pitches actually, and then will be the moment for the co-creation workshop. So again, thank you for this great interaction. I think this will be part of the minutes, and we will for sure will have a follow-up with the region, with the commission, and with all the stakeholders that have been involved here. Thank you. Now coffee break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Qui ce la possiamo dire off record,
Ma perché
no?
chiami a quello e non chiami a quell'altro? Cioè, guarda, io non è vero,
Io non lo capiamo. Nel curriculum lo conoscono bene, quindi non ti possiamo tenere, perché se chiamiamo te Polemi, lo sappiamo che sono uguali Polemi, Polemi subito Sapienza Bus, quindi noi siamo... Allora mi vengono a dire, perché non ti presenti col cappello di qualche associazione, così chiamiamo te, no? Le competenze sono quelle, definiamo le competenze, teoricamente un curriculum e le competenze. Se questo non è possibile, però chiediamo questo tavolo, in modo che non è che tutti fanno tutto, se no...
Non so, sai cos'è? Adesso io, per carità,
Spero che... No, spero che condividi il messaggio, perché sennò è inutile, non abbiamo nessuno di noi ha tempo. pensato Turingia,
No,
capito?
no, oppure magari c'ha bisogno di una particolare associazione di categoria, la popolare, i popolari sono dati voti da queste parti.
Io credo che noi, da un lato dobbiamo spingere però mi rendo conto di sulla comunicazione locale, cioè qua si sta molto prima sugli aggregati di andare sul corridoio di sera. Le regole del gioco una volta che sono chiare, quindi come dice il sistema, uno parte da lì, il progetto di marchio come alleanza a Sabrasi che ha posto forte, secondo me è un'alleanza con questa missione e su questo possiamo contribuire. Secondo me noi possiamo consigliare una persona che sia un advisory board, non so, ancora non l'abbiamo nominata. Allora, questo profilo anche per quello che hai detto, abbiamo la deviazione di essere molto gelati, quindi siamo abbastanza proprio le chiacchiere e tanta praticità. Quindi se tu potessi, cioè se noi dovessimo, adesso dobbiamo fare ovviamente, cioè ci saresti tu o ci sarebbe
Questo chiaramente è una decisione che prende
l'assessore?
il direttore
Al dipartimento.
che sempre con l'assessore. Su questi, penso, su queste
Però su un tema così penso che non siano,
impostazioni.
non fanno a gara.
No, diciamo che ormai anche a livello della regionale siamo 2 o 3 colleghi che seguono queste tematiche, che sono riferenti delle settore. Ma io a volte diciamo sono l'unica scelta purtroppo disponibile perché parlo inglese e francese, se no i colleghi sono molto più informati di me, ma c'è il problema della lingua, capito? Purtroppo a livello regionale c'è
Perché senza la lingua non guidi,
non
partecipi e fai turismo.
esatto, capito? Ma fai proprio fatica anche.
Come non sei bravo,
Guarda,
non sei
l'impatto,
libero.
cioè l'empatia che te vuoi trasmettere alle persone che ti stai intorno, perché comunque ogni incontro così secondo me ti dà un valore aggiunto, cioè la possibilità proprio di stringere anche delle relazioni, non dico quasi amichevoli, capito? Perché è un po' sul piano di senza magari tante formalità, però a volte le formalità ci vogliono, perché è capace, però
Guarda,
disponibilità
questo teniamolo in agenda. Noi per la nostra delegata,
sì, ci siamo
stiamo discutendo della migliore strategia per avere... Ah, sorry, I'm sorry.
no, let's speak in English.
No, we discuss because Anna, she is a value, no, as and is a value, but actually we also have one horizon about to start about particular subject together, so we will be got that anyway, but having care as advisor, they should be working with the regional strategy for femminile, but
It's for the first track. I work with Alessandro.
so they know each other. Also, we are in contact with Alessandro and we do successor with the head of unit of GRC. So, from Regione Marche, I think she can be great value. Honestly, I'm very happy today because Francesco Regoli was perfect. You know, typical directors are coming good morning, Ancona, nice evening, so and so. Today, I'm proud of my university. It's not always the same case, you know? I'm proud of my university. Today I am.
Very concrete at the same
Put the
time.
agenda on the center today, not the minute one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not blah blah blah. We are the like, maybe wrong decision, but that's the decision. So maybe I think we need to discuss together. I think Anna, of course, Marche region is actually part of it, but talking about people,
Yes.
she can really bring this approach. Because we will probably have board of regions somehow. I don't know the way we will call it, but so all your colleagues basically together. We had your colleague in France, we had your colleague in Germany.
No, that,
So
I mean,
having
it's very
this,
professionally speaking, it's very interesting to meet other colleagues from other regional administrations.
as you said, that to serve, we want to serve you. So to serve as an alliance, that can be so through Deborah formally and through the alliance as a network. And what I'm always saying in the board there, the moment is now, because now we are working on the next strategy. It's not
Yes,
next year.
yes. The moment is now.
Now or never.
No, the moment is now.
So that's important.
That's why really we're pushing for having this at this moment, to have the SRIA ready and what the
And I think that the people from Gruja were very happy because I mean, Michele is much more expert than me, but I'm telling you what the alliance are doing. And even in case I'm proud, we are very pragmatic. We try. this as our value. We still have the old values, but now the values security, autonomy, and so on is mainstreaming.
Yeah.
So that's something that we have to discuss, because I don't know if this will be in the regional strategies.
I mean, the
Probably.
topic of water and
Security and so on.
security. I already put in the calls of which I am responsible now. The STEP program is already inside our call.
Because they are
STEP
also the
technologies.
code as well.
So I mean,
It's
it's
been added
already
also
here.
in the midterm review
It's
of
already here.
the RDF fund.
Yeah.
These topics of water security,
Yes,
and safety,
yes, it's a
and the
new
STEP
topic of the
platform.
new programming period.
Yes, exactly.
We already housing.
And housing as well,
The
yes.
housing questions too. We have started discussing this in our regional plans.
I think talking about, because we have Deborah that is formally the formal link, we have to find a way to forward to what the finish was saying is very important. If we have the name of the alliance in a formal document, everything is done. I mean, I'm advisor in ministries quite often, so I know the story. It's much more important to be once as an intern in the parliament than doing a paper in nature. Because once you're there, you're making an impact. Paper in nature is good for you and for science. But sometimes the impact is in one idea. So we have to do both as researcher, but I don't know how to be formally. I mean, we need a formal decree somehow. In the decreto assessoriale, something. We need something we have to follow.
So do I suppose. I
Yes,
don't know.
something from the bureaucratic point of view. Is, and from this, the commission will be happy.
Yeah.
And what the finish was saying, I think it's.
And you change the mindset of academia to say we need to deliver something in the parliament or something in the region, and then you are not writing in a language that only your peers in your field will know. You really need to translate what you know for people, policymakers or for society to really understand what you have been researching.
Yes.
And this is a mindset shift that we really need to do. So if we get this decree, whatever that you are advising, then your role is not a scientific only,
It's a formal role.
it's a formal role for being an advisor. And then you really need to be trained for that. And maybe we can create a group to really train a number of change makers that are advisors for different levels. And this can be done. That can be in the plan for the coming year.
I think that locally we need to move in this direction. And of course we need to talk also with the assessors, because the director. Talking about person, we will do a follow-up about the advisory board. I think this is something that will be in parallel. And for the alliance point of view, well, we can take this model and see if this can be replicated in other regions. Because even when we were in France, we had your colleague there, so they have connection, the same is in Thuringia. So we are all small regions, more or less. So
and the connections are very
It's
close.
easier.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a table at the summit in May for the regions involved.
yes. If you want, there is a coffee break.
Thank you, Anne,
I
for
go back,
this
but I have to
lively
go back
discussion.
to
work.
they were informed about this. So welcome back. We can start our session where our PhD researchers will be the protagonists. I will outline the program of this workshop and then I will leave the floor to the Work Package 3 leader. Why? Because as we said, PhD researchers are students and researchers. So the focus of this meeting is, on one side, to talk about research, so scientific research and research impact. Research and impact. And the panel this morning was about that. But the focus is also how we can boost our research-based education. So what we would like to hear from our PhD students is what did we miss in terms of research-based education? So now, we will have pitches from our PhD researchers that will be asked not only to say what they are doing, but to focus on the relevance that they have for their regions. So it's not a general presentation. Try to say a few words about what you've heard. So it's an exercise. It's not only dissemination. And then, having started your networking, what do you think that can be the added value of the Alliance? So remember to mention this. What you're doing, how you are linked with your regional context, and how the Alliance can support your research, okay? Then we will divide in groups according to the 5 priorities, okay? And the outcome of this group will be the creation of the PhD community according to the thematic. Again, we don't want to create only a generic network. We want to create a network that is discussing about something. And this something is digitalization and industry, green transition and circular economy, health and digital health, agro-food bioeconomy, sustainable mobility, logistics and blue economy, okay? So try to be focused. Again, if you don't have the program is available in the QR code in your folder to revise your areas. Tony.
Just one thing here, when you are talking about the topics, when we were going through the report, we saw that social science and humanities were very much missing. So you really need to look at these issues from the point of view of socioeconomic approach as well, so that we can really handle research innovation in terms of what is the impact that are going to create in society, okay? So I think this is important because it was really missing.
Yeah. In fact, this is a gap that we identified that we have to work on. Now we need some energy on the floor, so I leave the floor to the most energetic Work Package leader. Thank you, Joanna, for supporting.
Thank you. Big thanks to Francesco, to Michaela, and to UniVPM, not De La Marque, for all the organization and all the work. Okay, hello everyone. Please, wake up. A question, and I need you to answer me. If not, we cannot hear the students. Bear with me, it is not weird. Listen up. First question, raise your hand if you have ever done a diet to lose weight. Okay, good. Now, raise your hand if you, after you finish the diet, you regain the weight that you were supposed to lose and a bit more. I am on that phase now. Okay, good. Now, raise your hand if you know that you need to eat in a balanced way, that you need to exercise, that you need to reduce the sugar and the salt and the fat, and that you know that you need to have a healthy lifestyle. Everybody, raise your hand if you know that. Okay. Now, of all of you who raised your hand, everybody, how many of you do that? I don't. My hands are down, down, down. I try. Okay. So, First statement, we all agree, I do not need to convince you that we need to have a balanced lifestyle, to eat in a balanced way, and then to do exercise and stuff like that. You agree, yes or no? I said, wake up, people. You agree, yes or no? Yes, great, okay. And even though you agree, we know it, I do not need to convince you. Do you know what you need to do to put it in place? More or less, but we do know, yes? Like, do not eat 3 pastries now in the coffee break, just like I did, 3 beignets. This I know I should not do. So you know that you need to have a balanced lifestyle and then exercise and then eat better to be healthy. You know what are the instructions to do that, and yet only 3 people raised their hands and said they are doing it. Well, research-based education is just the same. I do not need to convince you that we need to link research to education. I do not need to convince you that in the era of AI and all this technological development, we need skills like critical thinking, searching for information, analyzing the results, understanding deeply the how, even failure, accepting trial and error. These are research-linked skills. I do not need to convince you that we need to do that. And the instructions that we are going to present tomorrow with the WP3 leader, Loizos, we are leading together from EUC, are very simple instructions. They're like, do sports, eat less sugar, control what you eat, walk a bit, easy instructions. And yet, many universities fail to put it in place. Why? Because it takes effort. Why? Because it is harder to do a research-based lecture and training than to do a lecture like I'm doing now and just speaking and letting the students listen to the wisdom we have to offer them. It is harder and it requires more effort. So even though we know that we need to do research-based learning, even though an education, even though we know what are the instructions, we're going to represent to them for you tomorrow. We're going to speak about the diet and we're going to speak about the long term. But these are simple instructions, and even though we do not put them in place. So this is why we need the help of our PhD students. Why, even though we know, even though it is a simple task at the end of the day, we do not put it in place. So we want you collectively to focus on that idea and to give feedback. So in WP3, in all the activities we are creating and all the training, the lectures and the beeps and the joint degrees and the double degrees, we integrate that. So yes, it is too late for you, our dear PhD students, but then help the others that arrive after you. Okay, so thank you for being here. Talk to you tomorrow with Loizos about the simple instructions. And now I'm going to leave the floor to our first PhD representative. Give them a big clap and then encourage them, please. I leave the floor to Alessandra Morando. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Thank you so much. I hope I will have the same energy. So she already presented me. I'm from the UTC. More specifically, I'm working in the UTC laboratory. We have 3 teams. One, the SEED, mainly working on artificial intelligence, the SCOOP, which is optimization applied to logistics, and then the most important one, mine, which is the SIRI, which is related with robotics. And in particular, I'm working in the drones team. So what we do is we try to address the limitations of currently on commerce drones by using a mathematical approach. So here are just 3, let's say, main applications that we consider lately. So the first one is to propose, the first is not on purpose that mine is running and the other no. So is to propose innovative prototypes, like for example, hybrid drones that they can change their configuration, or acoustic drones that can detect acoustic sources, or also, then this is my axis. So it's more related with predictive control. So what we do is that we predict what will happen and we apply the control action that is the optimal one, or Finally, since nowadays is more a trend, we try to give mathematical guarantees of adaptive, robust control techniques using neural networks. But we also did many works in the past. We have a YouTube channel that in the end there will be a QR code that you can scan to see all the videos. But the idea is that we are open to different applications. The only I was not expecting the audio, but indeed the idea is that we want always to have a mathematical regard, a scientific regard when we propose solutions, and but more specifically what we can offer and how we place regarding the Sunrise. Indeed, we have many strong international collaborations, so we are already in this perspective of collaboration, and all the applications that you saw mainly are under the Syria thematic area 4, so focusing more on robotics and control system. We have different experimental platforms for sure drones, but we should also mention the other, which are autonomous vehicles with collaboration with Renault and a simulative virtual reality room. And I have been very brief, but I hope that you are still curious about it, and here are all the contacts, and thanks for the attention.
Thank you, Alessandra. Yay. So, Alessandra, you show us what you can do for Sunrise and how to contribute. If you don't have an answer, don't worry. All PhD students, prepare yourselves. It's going to be a question for all of you. So, how could Sunrise help you? What do you think could be an opportunity for you within this alliance? How this alliance could help you as a PhD student?
Well, already Sunrise has give the possibility to students to do some period abroad. As already I mentioned, I was in a joint degree with another university, so I didn't take the opportunity, but it's a great opportunity for all the PhD students that are here, so take it, and it is really important for enriching your CV. So I think it's a good point.
Okay, so thank you. Offer more mobility within Sunrise to PhD students. Thank you, Alessandra from UTC. Wow. And now I'm going to leave the floor for Deborah Amorim. I hope I am pronouncing all of it correctly. So big round of applause. I said wake up, people. If not, we do a round of pumps.
Hello, I'm Deborah Amorim. I'm from Portugal. I came in with Polytechnical University of Viana do Castelo. So the problem with diagnostics is the need of pre-processing steps and bulky equipment. In that way, my PhD thesis focused on developing a microfluidic device based on surface acoustic waves for cell separation. So you can see on the left the microfluidic actuator. After performing some experimental tests, you can see that using surface acoustic waves, I achieve size-dependent separation. The larger particles leave through the outer outlet, and the smaller particles keeps in the center of the channel. Then I want to develop a surface acoustic wave-based sensor to quantify the cells. The integration of these two technologies would be very important to achieve portable diagnostics and in situ analysis. And this paves the way for simpler, faster, and more accessible diagnostics in medicine, and also for environmental monitoring, such as water quality control and beyond. Thank you.
Big thanks. So the same question to you. How do you think Sunrise could help you? And you cannot say mobility, it's already said. How to torture
okay. I'm glad I'm the second one. I think I already spoke with people outside that can help me with my work. I'm facing some challenge with fabrication and characterization, and I think some partners have the equipment that I will need. That will be great.
So sharing the technological platforms so students could do their experiments on them. Big thanks. Prepare yourselves for the question. So thank you, Deborah. And now I'm going to leave the floor for Faysan. Welcome. The floor is yours.
Okay, my name is Fei Sun, and I'm a PhD student in computer science from Mälardalen University in Sweden. My research topic is about responsible AI from a digital humanism perspectives, which aligned the project very well because it's about digitalization. And AI systems are already integrated in our daily life. Most of those AI systems, they seem properly works, such as they comply with the regulations, they pass the legal checks, and also they meet the fairness standard metrics. But they still can produce harmful outcomes. So why those AI systems, they appear responsible, but still can fail in practices? We call it the operationalization gap. So we want to move from the abstract ethical values to the practical, concrete engineering practices. But there is breaks between. It's for three reasons. The first is ethical is very abstract. And the second is values of ethics in real life. And then the ethics get reduced to the simple metrics or checklist. And to solve those issues, we use the digital humanism as our theoretical foundation, which emphasizes that technology should serve the human dignity, human agency, and the democratic values. So our research aim is to establish value-based and practical frameworks that can be help to translate ethics in AI from the design, develop, and the deployment. And this phase of my PhD research, we focus on the theoretical part. So we would like to have the empirical validations in the next stage. So we would really welcome for your questions, suggestions, or any collaboration opportunities. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you from Mälardalen University. Are you here? Let me hear you, Mälardalen. Yeah! Okay, make some noise, people. Okay, so the same question for you. How could Sunrise help you?
It's already helped me a lot because I'm standing by the poster. I think, okay, I need collaborations, but I already have very insightful insights and also possible collaborations. And also I'm hoping for more suggestions, questions, collaborations as well. And also I got to taste nice pizza here.
Oh, that's good. So if I rephrase it, maybe organize some formal, informal PhD conference where PhD students meet, discuss their research, and ask for help in what they need. This is what you were saying.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. And with pizza, and everything that is good to eat. Yes. And let's forget about the diet.
And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for Faysan from Mälardalen University. So I only have the first name for our next PhD students. It is Katerina. Big applause to Katerina. Katerina, you are from? From EUC. Are you here, Cyprus?
Hello everyone, my name is Katerina Volemidiotou and I'm a PhD student at European University Cyprus. So for this 2-minute pitch, I will be very brief. So my project is titled FASCINE-1 is a bridge between lung cancer metastasis and pulmonary fibrosis. The whole point of this project is to assess whether a specific protein which is highly expressed in lung cancer, after being inhibited, can actually inhibit cell metastasis and maybe reverse fibrosis. So basically, I'm on a very early stage of the research. I'm trying to wrap up the in vitro experiments, I'm sorry, I have some stage fright. So I need to breathe. I need to breathe. I always get that, so excuse me for that. So the in vitro experiments conducted so far actually show that indeed FASN1 does inhibit cell metastasis. And we can see for the 2 lung cancer cell lines that have been tested, cell migration was reduced by approximately 35%, while also there was some alteration in cell morphology, where after inhibiting FASN1, cells became more circular, more round, and the elongated phenotype was reduced. And also, upon FASN1 silencing, the gene expression was also modified, and we saw that a set of genes related to cell migration and more aggressive phenotype was actually reduced as well. So these results are so far very promising. Also, there was a comparison between the expression of, a comparison of FASN expression levels between different cell phenotypes, and this experiment demonstrated a stepwise increase in expression of FASN, starting with the lowest expression from the normal cell phenotypes, going towards the highest expression, which was the more aggressive cancer cell phenotypes. So ultimately, future work will include expansion of these in vitro experiments to wrap them up and continue to ex vivo validation of increased FASN1 expression in fibrotic and altered tissues. And also, finally, to validate whether an FDA-approved drug will manage to block this protein and inhibit cell metastasis, either alone or in combination with photodynamic therapy. So thank you for your attention and your patience.
Can I ask you? Okay, did a wonderful job. So the same question goes for you. I got her approval to ask the question. So what could Sunrise do for you? Give us real challenges.
Real challenges. Actually gain more expertise regarding the experimental work that we're doing. Maybe sometimes we lack some infrastructure or as you said before, the technological platforms to perform certain types of experiments. So this would be really helpful if we had such opportunities.
Thank you very much. So a catalog of our platforms. We thank you all our PhD students. It's not easy. Thank you for being here with us and to present to all of us. And thank you for being here. It's highly appreciated. And now I'm going to leave the floor for Leila Zare. Leila is from Bolzano. Bolzano, I need to hear you.
No, not a lot. But how I can pass it to them? How is it?
Oh, okay. So it is just a real test for you. You are soon to graduate, so we can see how you can test the pressure. So you need to wait, and then you come back to us. Okay. Sorry for the technical error and for the stress for that. Sorry, Leila. So sorry, and now we're going to leave the floor for Paulina. And Paulina, you are from? From Poland.
Hello, everyone. With the file, yeah? Yes, it's starting.
It will appear.
Impossible.
Someone is working. We see the advancement in De La Marque. Somebody not here is working on the PC.
Okay. My research is the analysis of biomechanical parameters of patients with lumbar spine complaints using the Schumann 3D platform. It's a platform which uses vibration with the frequency 7.84 hertz. And I've got the patients with the low back pain. So that's the method here. So the research was enabled the evaluation of this method, the evaluation of the technique for reducing tension in a lumbar spine. The results was a verification of this method and the indication which factors has a relaxing effect of in a lumbar spine. So I've got 60 patients. Oh, sorry. I've got 60 patients which use the vibration therapy during doing exercises on the platform. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much. How can Sunrise help you? It is the same question.
It helps that I'm here and I can present my work. Hard work, I think.
Okay, so maybe have, besides the informal conference, a formal conference when we could have publications listed for the PhD students and helping them to present and then to get exposure on their work. So it is 2 conferences for you now, Francesco.
You're always very welcome. What I want to say that in the SRIA, there is a database of all, so far, only Horizon Europe and the national project that have been mapped. So we decided to be evidence-based. You should go through the Excel file that is an annex to the SRIA, and you will find the projects funded with reference to the PI. Because, you know, at the moment, quite often people are asking Joanna or Mia, oh, who is the best contact in CompN? And it's a bit slow process. If you go directly to the SRIA, that is the reason why it's an annex, you can immediately find the contact, then you check Scopus, and you come with a proposal. This is what I'm doing with my PhD student. Don't come to me with nothing. Come to me with the proposal. Then I will say no. But at least it's something. Okay? So it's your time to be autonomous. You have the material. Take the SRIA. The SRIA is your document to know who is doing what. Now we are trying to summarize in an infographic, more nice, but the information is there. And then conferences is always, self-organized conference is even better, so be ready for organize a conference.
I think you're afraid of organizing the conferences, Francesco. You're not getting free with it. We will have a PhD students conference organized. Thank you very much. So now it is back to Leila from Bolzano. Bolzano. Oh, not now. You are at the end, Leila. Okay, I'm sorry. I just like to bring you to the stage. Say hello to the group.
Okay, hello.
Thank you, Leila. See you soon. Okay. So now it is Russell M. So what the M stands for? It's your middle name. Okay, very, mysterious. So Russell, where are you from?
I'm from Papua New Guinea, but I'm currently studying in UIT in Poland. Dzień dobry, guys.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes. If you go to any place today and you see people standing in line, there's a fundamental problem in accessing government services. It tells you that this lady here had to stand in line with her car plate for 1 hour to get it registered. It tells you that in Poland, interoperability of government systems is still high. According to the Draghi report, it costs 0.3 to 1.4% of the European economy every year. Poland is aspiring to grow its digital economy by 78 billion euros, which is 9% of the country's GDP. So, how do we do that? How do we make interoperability part of government and part of society? India did it through digital public infrastructure. During COVID, they saved 27 billion in getting government subsidies straight to the citizens. This is where digital public infrastructure comes in. What are DPIs? They are foundational systems that support the delivery of public service. They have to be open, inclusive, and accessible according to the ITU, and this includes digital ID systems, data sharing or interoperability systems, and digital payment systems. They're actually the horizontal systems that services or applications which are vertical, and it gives economy of scale and investment. So where I come from in Papua New Guinea, where I worked with the government digital transformation, we developed our own technology stack that allowed us to actually bring interoperability within the government. Now, what does that mean for Europe? Everyone is talking in Brussels today about interoperability, whether at the national, whether at the Euro level, European level. My research is about how do I derive an economic model that can quantify the real GDP growth through structured DPI investment as an innovation catalyst. And how do we actually implement EU integration and the application for this to Papua New Guinea and the Pacific Islands, which sort of are looking to the EU model to drive our economic growth and security. So, question, how should the EU, with its European interoperability framework and the Act, how does it actually implement that? And how should it invest in digital public infrastructure? This is my country's economic data from 1989 to 2022 on GDP growth according to sectors. Now, based on our discussions this morning, with the investments in digital public infrastructure, you could actually drive efficiency within the current industries. And secondly, you could actually create new growth industries, which what we are discussing here in Sunrise, in the regions. So how does regional innovation policies align? So that's where, coming to your question, my research will greatly benefit if I could actually test data from the actual regions in this model. And that can help me to actually quantify. And of course, you need to secure this. That's where we have our cybersecurity team here as well. You are, in cybersecurity, what are you actually securing? You're actually securing the value that you are investing in. So that's what my research in just first 5 months. And I hope to go into the methodology in the next few months. And then we hopefully that can contribute to the EU discussions on interoperability and applicability to other parts of the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. He even answered the question before asking it. Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. So if you can help with acquisition of data for him to work on, please do come back to Russell M.
Just to give a few examples how you can contribute to the work of the Alliance. This morning we heard, I mean, this is for everybody. Now, let's put a case here. We heard about the next regional strategy, and there is a need of a collection and harmonization of data in that direction. So at the moment, the regions are asking us to do this job and to support. If we are able to converge even the PhD activities towards the direction, is a huge impact for you and for the Alliance. So in the following session, when we will divide in cluster, try to talk about this. What you can take, what you can give to the Alliance, even on the basis of what you were this morning, to increase the impact.
Thank you, Francesco. Now I'm gonna leave the floor for not Leila, but Maria Kristen. And Maria, you are from? From Cyprus.
So hello, my name is Maria Christou. I'm from European University Cyprus, and today I will discuss with you my PhD research study, which is a PhD funded from RIF in Cyprus, and focus on the identification of circulating protein biomarkers to predict breast cancer metastases. So as we know, breast cancer is the main cause of, is the is the most frequent malignancy in women, and the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths in women worldwide. And this happens because tumor cells can metastasize in secondary organs and enter a cellular dormancy, which those cells do not proliferate and keep, and they are still there without any activity. So this is a diagnostic therapeutic obstacle for cancer treatment for breast cancer patients. So as I mentioned before, breast cancer develop metastases. So disseminated tumor cells stay in a dormant period for after years of latency from their initial treatment and exhibit resistance to chemotherapy. So metastasize, they start activate and metastasize secondary organs. So we need to find protein biomarkers that create a biomarker signature to categorize patients in high risk and low risk for disease recurrence. So the hypothesis for this study is the transition of metastatic breast cancer cells from dormant state to active colonization in distal organs is associated with alteration in protein expression of tumor and immune cells and are reflected in the blood of patients during cancer progression. So this is our preliminary data. We were able to develop an orthotopic syngeneic mouse model. We can see here 3 different time points. The first point is the primary tumor. Then we resect the tumor and we can see the dormant period, and then we can see the metastasis. So we isolated blood from these 3 different time points, and we proceed with RNA sequencing in order to find which genes are upregulated or downregulated in between the 3 different time points. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. So you are contributing to the health-related strategic Syria area, right? So how can we help you? So thank you for contributing to Sunrise, but how can Sunrise help you?
So we are working we already have a collaboration with a company in Cyprus that we try to find a novel diagnostic tool to identify and can target the proteins with electrodes using potentiometry. So feel free if someone knows better than us how to proceed and work better with this tool.
Thank you very much. An idea, Francesco, you're going to hate me at the end. Help me forum online, help me forum, help me. I need this. Does anybody know anything about it? And we just go and see and if somebody has an idea, could answer the PhD student, and we just call it Help Me Forum. So we can help if we have a contact or an industrial partner. So what you are saying is that we need to link our socio-economical partners also within Sunrise so we can help do the experiments till the end and get all the skills and that we need.
So we can create a platform between different universities in order for easy communication and start to collaborate between us, not only for this project, but for future proposals and funded projects.
Okay. Francesco is so unhappy. I see him getting up every time he has new work.
I think this is food for tomorrow, because in task 4.2 is actually this common infrastructure, the target. So now we have mapped, and this online tool and platform to be answered by somebody, that's always the issue, and not always from the same person that is not able to answer everybody, should be maybe clustered with PhD program coordinator, because I am one of the PhD program coordinators here in my university, and we are 70 professors in the board, and I know who to address where. So probably the doctoral schools are the best way to address you to the right direction. And for example, in our university, the medical school is in the hospital that is it's 20 kilometers far from here. So even logistically, this is the best way. So tomorrow we'll have the doctoral directors, and I think it's important to connect with them. That's why it's also Work Package 3.
Oh, I have work too, okay. So, yes. So now we're gonna leave the floor to Ralph Hanouch from UTC. UTC, are you in the house? Woo!
Thank you. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is, as she said, Ralph Hanouch, and I'm from UTC, and more specifically from Laboratoire de Roberval, where our team is mainly focused on micro-actuation systems and micromechatronics and optical system and the integration of all of these different fields inside of a system. So basically, my research is focused on the creation, the design, and modeling of a micro-robot that is totally untethered. The idea is to that this micro-robot is going to be able to move and maneuver inside of a closed environment. So it could be infectious or even in microfabrication applications where the environment is totally closed and you can't actually interact from outside to the inside of this environment. And so the proposed solution that we are working on is actually integrating multiple research fields in the team that I work in by integrating a microactuator, basically developed using electromagnetic actuation design, where the main focus is on the model of the different coils. To generate these kind of magnetic fields that will be able to generate the movement of the micro-robot. And at the same time, a simple design that will be able to be scaled down. Right now, our prototype is less than a centimeter, and of course, one of our future work is going to be to scale it down. And the other major field is using optical means of controlling and powering the system. So by using micro PV cells, so photovoltaic cells, to transfer this optical energy to the current needed for the actuation system. And at the same time using prisms, like in this example, we're using the CCR, which is also another project that is developed by one PhD student of my team as well, that will be able to locate and by locating the micro-robot, basically controlling its movement inside of this environment, and like for different kind of applications. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Ralph. The best research lab in UTC. Sorry, Pedro. We have people from the other research labs, so sorry. The question, yes, we are. No, we're not gonna say that. So the question for you, how could Sunrise help you?
Okay, so basically as we are going to do multiple, like scaling down, for example, I've heard multiple work on PCB technologies. So basically expertise in microelectronics basically could majorly help our project. Or and even how my team can help you using different microsystems, micro-robots, and we have multiple nano positioning systems that could majorly help different PhD projects. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. I see Fred and Hani saying yes, so oof, that's, they agree that they are ready to help. So thank you. An idea? We have individual performance committees for PhD students at UTC. I think it's the same for everywhere. You know, when you ask an outside professor from the field to come and to comment and to say if the PhD could continue or not, we do that yearly at UTC. They like to torture us, the doctoral school. Marion is here. So maybe a way of collaboration is also to invite professors from Sunrise to be part of these individual follow-up committees. I don't know how to call them in English. And in that case, the professor gives the feedback to the PhD students, but also identifies connections potentially. So this is a call for all of us to think for our PhD students to invite professors from Sunrise to come and participate in the juries, in the follow-up yearly sessions and stuff like that. There is no better way to connect than to invite them to participate. Thank you, Ralph. And now, oh my God, it's gonna be a hard one. Trace Force Probe. Did I pronounce it correctly? Yeah, but this is what is written here. It seems like a video game. It feels like something my children are playing at now. It's Trace Force Probe. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Joanna. Yeah, that's just a project title. So my name is George Hein from TU Ilmenau Institute of Process Measuring and Sensor Technologies. And yeah, in Ilmenau we do have a very long tradition in metrology or in precision measurement technologies. There are a couple of well-known companies like Zeiss from the region that still are close connected to our university. And yeah, when I was asked to give this little pitch talk today, I was a little bit concerned because on one hand, I'm absolutely not an expert on the 3R strategies, but on the other hand, I was not sure how to explain what an active tactile coordinate measuring machine measuring head is, what it does or what it is used for within 2 minutes. But I try to give my best. So let's start with just a little example. Smartphone. As I can see in the auditory, we are all using smartphones day by day. And yeah, this one just looks like pretty much like a smartphone should look like. But if you take a detailed look on it, you see that it has a pretty well-defined geometrical, geometrical shape with some design features on it. And if you are a manufacturer of such a smartphone, you need to guarantee that every smartphone out of millions that you produce looks exactly the same as the others, with accuracy in the range of just the thousandths of a millimeter. And how do you do that? You can do it by measuring. Measuring with a so-called coordinate measuring machine. So that's a device. It has a probe, and this probe is moving around and just touches your product or your measurement object in several positions, and then you can just compute the geometrical shape of your product. What we are doing in our research project is we are developing a novel kind of a measuring head for such a coordinate measuring machine. I just brought this little plastic mock-up here and show you there's an operational one in Ilmenau. Yeah, so our concept or our approach uses a part, we call it the flotor, that is inside this measuring head, and this part is completely levitated with 6 electromagnetic actuators. That means it is free floating and you can control the position and the orientation in all 6 dimensional degrees of freedom. So on one hand, we have a measuring system inside that measures the, as I said, the position and the orientation of this floating part with a precision in the range of just nanometers, so billionths of 1 meter. And on the other hand, we want to measure all the forces affecting on this floating part when it comes to probing, to a measurement procedure. Yeah, okay, so I just hope that I could give you a very brief introduction. You want to ask your question or shall I answer it by myself? Okay, well, I want to give just 2 points. The first one is that I really hope that we have all the people here as multiplicators for the topics we're speaking today. So maybe you can go back to your universities, you know some people, some persons who are connected to these topics, even if you are not by yourself, but then maybe we can find some contact about that and use the network as it is a network. But on the other hand, just a wish for me personally, since I'm part of the student council, maybe we find some time slot in one session just to have a kind of a research PhD council or group meeting, just to talk about whether we can find some structure for PhDs within our Sunrise Alliance. Would be nice. Thank you.
Thank you, George Hein from Ilmenau. Ilmenau, I did not hear you say yay! Woo! And now I'm gonna leave the floor for Chiara Gastaldi. And you are from? From Bolzano.
Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Chiara Gastaldi from the University of Bolzano. I'm from the Faculty of Economics and Management, and my research examines gender differences in the labor market participation, starting from educational choices to career trajectories. So actually, before telling you more about my research, I would like to ask you a question. So if you'd like, close your eyes for 1 second and picture a software engineer or a software developer, a data scientist, a robotics engineer. Now open your eyes and I would like to tell me, who did you see? So for most of us, the image is still male. And that's not because we think that women cannot become scientists, architects, engineers, or because we support inequality in the labor market. But that's because while we were growing up, in our brain, silently, a link was formed, a link between science and male. So our brain learned how to link science with only male. And that silent default matters. And it matters because it shapes who feels confident, who feels like they belong, and ultimately who decides to pursue STEM. And that tiny automatic choice is where my research begins. So across Europe, girls perform as well as boys in scientific and digital skills, yet they opt out from STEM schools and from career trajectories. At the same time, European countries and their economies are facing persistent shortages in STEM occupations, slowing down innovation, digital progress, regional economic development, and the green transition. So the question is not who can do STEM, but who believes they belong to it. And that's where my research begins. So to study this, I designed a randomized controlled trial in middle schools and high schools in South Tyrol, involving over 1,500 students. Those students were randomly assigned to a treatment or a control group. And depending on the group, they watched videos, interviews of young STEM professionals. So using AI technology, I generated gender swap versions of the same scientist. So basically you had identical content and narrative, but different gender. So here is the gender. So I could observe the so-called pure gender effects, as female version of the same scientist were systematically rated lower than the male counterpart, indicating a gender discrimination in STEM. Okay, so this gender discrimination also reflects in, additional results. So when students were exposed to only female scientists, we could see a reduction in the science male bias. And those effects are actually context dependent, meaning that when students were also in female majority classes and had a female STEM teacher, there was an additional reduction of this science male implicit bias. So the takeaway message is simple but important. Representation, role modeling matters, but its impact depends also on context and belonging. So if gender gaps in STEM are partly rooted in those automatic associations that are formed during childhood, then scalable, school-based interventions can help shift those associations before educational track crystallize. And then that small shift in belief can actually shape who becomes the engineer and the scientist of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How can we help you?
So maybe trying to scale up this intervention across Europe, across European cultures, and maybe doing a sort of a comparison in gender attitudes in the different universities or schools. So maybe why not?
Wonderful idea. Yeah. Come and test it in our regions. So if you can help her test it in our regions, we should do that.
Can we invite you to present your outputs or your findings into the group that is working on gender equality in the platform, in the alliance? Because I think that would be very enlightening, giving you the voice on real data, and then spread the word of what you are doing. So this is a very concrete action that we could do. Huh?
So we are inviting you, and please, if we can make it happen, so you can replicate your experiment in our regions, we shall do that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Women power. I had to do that, sorry. So now it's not Leila yet. Sorry, Leila. Now it's for, I'm gonna leave the floor for Mohammed El Zayat. And you don't have a PowerPoint? Oh, see, there is a PowerPoint. Real-time management, UniVPM, great. So, where are you from, Mohammed?
Bosnia and Herzegovina, UNMO.
From Bolzano?
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
From UNMO, Bosnia. Are you here, Mostar?
All right, I see familiar faces. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Mohammed El Zayat. I come from Bosnia and Herzegovina, UNMO, Faculty of Information Technology in Mostar. My study is about artificial life. It's about the study of origins of life and complex systems. Basically speaking, it's all about putting some certain, like simple rules, and we get an actual emergent behavior coming out of this. So it's also based on something which is called serial automata. I promise I have pretty images, and if we are lucky, they will keep moving. So that's, I hope that they will keep moving. So basically speaking, we have a problem with definition of life and actually like tackling the problem of how the actual ecosystem self-balances itself. And we also have, we are still currently facing these similar problems. If, for example, if you heard about the killing all mosquitoes in order to eliminate malaria, for instance, and we have these questions like, what would happen if you take all the mosquitoes out of the world? What will happen to the food chain, and so on and so forth, right? So these are some of the interesting questions that also artificial life is actually trying to answer. There are many takes on this problem. People are trying to build mostly the life from scratch. However, they usually ignore the energy problem, the thermodynamics problem, and in my research, I'm actually incorporating them. So I'm actually implementing a multi-layer serial automata, and this bad boy is not moving. I promise it's moving, but it's actually, it's a reaction diffusion based on Alan Turing's reaction diffusion formulas. And there's a small derivation, which you can see actually up in the slide. So we have here a planetary field, and we have an energy field. So we have like 2 layers of these. And yeah, that doesn't want to move for some reason, but we will jump onto that. So we have an energy layer that governs the world, and then we have the creature, like the creature layers where the creatures are living, and they are being governed by a transport flow network, which you can see up here on the slide. By the way, all this is actually already have been published, so you can actually find it out on the PDF somewhere on the internet. On one of the IEEE conferences. But basically speaking is, here we are actually like trying to obey the laws of thermodynamics, where a plant kind of, this right now what you see here is a plant kind of life representation. It's an abstract concept, and it takes energy from the world. It actually grows, reproduces, replicates itself, and then it actually puts out the excess energy outside to the world. And I hope that this one moves. Yep, so this is actually a very fast, this is a sped up simulation of how the plants actually grow. And you can see like some white flashes there. This is because they are dying, but this is actually like the simulation. I don't want to put it in real time because otherwise I will have to wait for years until this finishes. So I'm just making it like every millisecond, just this thing just keeps ticking. And the interesting part here is my findings happen to be like we get the plant spawns after a certain while, like because the environment has certain limitations of space, we get this kind of curve where we have this, the plants grow very, very fast and then they slowly start to taper off so they don't actually grow as much as they can, so they don't reproduce that fast anymore. And this is because due to the fight for space, because actually plants usually compete for space. If you are in a confined space, they usually start to, because there's not much enough space, they cannot grow anymore as fast as they would. So actually in real life, there was actually a research in the 80s where people were actually studying the forest growth somewhere in Norway. And we actually got, even though it's a little bit like it's an inverse of the actual graph, like it's the opposite side, but we got the actual identical one. So the idea here is, we don't actually, in the research, we formalized the problem. We didn't put any ad hoc rules whatsoever. We just simply put the simple rules, obeyed the laws of thermodynamics, and let the simulation run. And we actually got something that replicates the real life. This is, in short, this is pretty much it. Actually, there is more into it. Like right now, we have herbivores right now running in the world, and they are actually simulating like real life kind of behaviors where they die off if there is less food in the environment, but due to the unreachability of it, but then later on the environment recovers back after their disappearance. So yeah, there's more into it, but I actually tried to keep in sync with the poster, so I didn't want to go off of it. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Very, very interesting. Thank you very much. How can Sunrise help you?
The Fresh Perspectives is always great. And the Help Me platform, sorry about that part of adding the job. The Help Me platform of Sunrise is actually excellent idea because fresh perspectives are always welcome. And then because my PhD here is cross-disciplinary, so if I hear, for example, from a biologist says, hey, this is actually a great idea, but I see this or I see that. And since I'm a computer scientist, I will not be able to cover the huge spectrum like the biologist will do. So this kind of fresh perspectives we get from different people, from different professions in one single platform might actually help enriching at least our research, getting better results and so on, yeah?
Multidisciplinary conference, making it multidisciplinary so people from different fields listen to all the presentations and give feedback yet from their point of view. Thank you very much, Mohamed from UNMO, from Mostar. Thank you. And now the floor is finally for, are you ready for her? Poor girl, she waited till the end. Leila from Bolzano.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Leila Zare, PhD student from University of Bolzano. And thank you, Sunrise, for providing this opportunity to present my results. My research topic is focused on future-oriented competence mapping in SMEs, addressing emerging work profiles under Industry 5. Okay. So Industry 5, what is Industry 5? It's focused on sustainability, human-centered and resilience. This digital and sustainable transformation is reshaping the future work profiles and also needed competences for future work profiles for small and medium-sized enterprises. So considering this, my research asked how does future work in Industry 5 manufacturing SMEs look like? So it follows four objectives: identifying challenges of SMEs, identifying of needed competences and skills for future work, identification of future work profiles for manufacturing SMEs, and at the end, I will drive recommendation for education provider, SMEs, and also policymakers. Methodologically, my research is structured on 4 work packages. For work package 1, results have been identified through SLR, surveys, SME Worldwide workshop, that this workshop have been conducted around the world, not just Europe. We have conducted like in Latin American countries, America, Europe, and Asian countries. For work package 1, I have the results for competences focused on SLR survey and for focus group workshops. And finally, I conducted 2 expert group survey for professors and also SMEs, but they are all experts like CEOs, project managers, managers, and professors. And as a result, I have identified 42 future work profiles for manufacturing SMEs as a result of surveys from experts. So, and also for the challenges, SMEs have faced challenges in terms of technology, workforce, economy, environment, community, and organization. For these 42 work profiles, I conducted another expert group survey and I identified the results, and small and medium-sized enterprises need to develop transversal competences, technical competences, and sustainable competences to prepare for the future and to implement digital and sustainable transformation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So maybe if you want, you can send that to, and we can give it to experts as well if you need extra input.
Yeah.
Okay. How can we help you besides that?
Well, I'm not sure, but maybe actually the project doing something related to SMEs. And I'm also focused on SMEs. Maybe they're like connecting results to small and medium-sized enterprises because it can be interesting for them if they need to, I don't know, develop skills in their employees, maybe.
Thank you, Leila. Thank you very much for your patience. Please, a round of applause to all the PhD students. Please stand up. PhD students, please stand up. Big round of applause to all of them. It was not easy to come and to present their work. Big thank you.
So thanks a lot, Joanna, for your energy that is with us. I mean, it's more than 2 years now, so we need it for 200 years more. And we'll take advantage of you even tomorrow. So good so far. Now it's time to work. We have 20 minutes before lunch, so we will start our work by dividing according to the 5 priorities. Then, PhD students, as you asked, we'll have time until 4:30, okay? Because at 4:30 we will have the tour of the labs, okay? So after lunch we will leave paper for you outside where you can write proposals to give and take from Sunrise, okay? What we discussed so far. Try to be thematic. So now we will be together, senior and junior researcher, in these 5 groups, and then PhD students outside can refine the proposal that will be presented tomorrow. But this is extremely important because then we will take what you will propose, and this will become a formal document that we will uptake in our strategy, okay? So I think the boards are coming. We will stay in this room. I prefer not to go outside and then come inside because this will take 10 to 20 minutes then. So we will stay in different corners. The 4 groups are the SRIA priorities. Try to be strategic and thematic. I saw that many of the presentations were digitalization and industry, so this will be probably the most numerous group. Digitalization and industry 4.0 can stay in that corner, okay? Green transition and circular economy, there was not too much here, but can stay in that corner. Health and digital health can stay up there. Agro-food bioeconomy can stay up there. And last but not least, sustainable mobility, logistics and blue economy on top there. The boards are coming. Yeah, Emma, potete andare a dare una mano a prendere le lavagne perché... Somebody from UniVPM if can help bringing in the boards that are there. And I ask PhD students to lead and coordinate these groups, okay, together with the senior. So it's your time now to lead the team. So far it was easy. This is what you're always doing. Now this is what you should do in your future. Talk to people and coordinate with people, okay? It's an exercise. So digitalization in industry there. Here, green transition and circular economy. Health and digital health on that block. Agro-food and bioeconomy on that block. And on top, logistics, mobility, and blue economy. I will